Hey everyone, walking, walking, walking. Yeah, that's the best medicine. It hurts, it sucks, but you got to do it. That's why we're here, right, Kevin? We're here to
That's
help
right.
everyone persevere and get them to build those natural collateral vessels that we talk about all the time because it is possible. You've not only built them in your legs, but you've also built them in your heart, right?
Yep. So say me, no doubt about it. I mean, I did a lot of
How are you doing
exercise.
with your training? What did you say?
Yeah. I mean, I had that because I got a high blood lipid and have all my life. I eventually had a heart attack. I had a quad bypass. And in the cath lab, they found that my right heart was living 100% on collaterals.
That
And
just blows my mind.
isn't that something? Anyway, everything seems to be coming back in now. My pulse is coming down. I'm about 11 weeks in. I'm going to be staying in Missouri for 3 months. I found a gym, which is a really
Three
good gym.
months.
Uh-huh.
3 months. Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, love is weird, isn't it? Anyway, I found a really good gym, uh, and I did workouts on the way here. I think the real trick is if you're off on a business trip or you're having a vacation or you're doing something different and
Yep.
you got P.A.D, you cannot afford to stop training and walking, especially on a harder surface like the road or a sidewalk. You have to keep doing that, or so those collaterals will start to close up. And yeah, so I did. Anyway, they seem to be fine now. I'm easing back into training. Starting off with 8 pound weights and working my way up to probably 15 at the most, and not
Oh, good
doing
for you.
not doing heavy flies because I don't want to rip my chest back open again.
Yeah,
Um,
please no. Please
I
no.
want to, that'd be a bad idea. But yeah,
Yeah,
I'm coming
just a
back,
little.
and the fitter you go into this kind of surgery, which in my case was unavoidable eventually, and I was 82 before it caught up with me, and I knew this for nearly 50 years it was going to get me, and not cholesterol, triglycerides, for which there's basically no treatment except for fatty fish, and it turns out exercise is key. Now they have fibrates, which are PPAR alpha agonists, but they also cause muscle damage. They cause the rhabdomyolysis of statins. And also, I tried one and it gave me a terribly upset gut. So I'm going for uh, fish oil tablets in the morning, one aspirin, and a lot of, whatever I can afford, sardines or salmon. And I should be able, with enough exercise, be able to continue and be fine. But I'll monitor
I have
that.
so many questions for you. I have so many questions for you. So, first one's the easiest one. I would imagine that you do your research on the right omega-3 fish oil tablets. What do you look for in a tablet? What are you using?
What I'm using now
Just to
are
make sure that it's not rancid. A lot of those tablets, if you get them through Amazon or get them
no, I don't do that.
on on the store shelf, they might be rancid. I was always told by my dad's dietitian that if you're taking any sort of fish oil tablet, you need to get it straight from the source, straight from the company making it, so that is the least it has the least chance of being rancid by the time it gets to your house.
Yeah, I mean, I got mine at a health food store I really trust in Carbra, and it's just
Okay.
pure salmon oil. Um, I will check that out, what you're saying about getting it from the source to avoid rancidity. That's a good idea. But also, I get, if I can, it's not so easy in Missouri, I get very fresh, fatty fish. I do
Oh
eat
yeah.
sard. I do eat, you have to eat whatever you can get. And in Missouri, the supply
Yeah.
of fish isn't that great. I mean, it's expensive and there's not much of it. Back in North Carolina, I could get, fish from the coast and it was really fresh and really good. What a big difference between that and getting it in a regular store. I could get it in a,
Oh,
you
it's
know,
totally different.
yeah, a guy delivered this fish from the shore 4 days a week, I think. Robinson fish food, fish food, and damn, it's so different to what you would get in a Harris Teeter.
It's amazing. We actually started ordering ours when my dad was diagnosed with heart disease. we found out that we needed to have fish, and more fish. We tried out a few delivery services, and we decided after trying several of them to go with Great Alaskan Seafood because they always have these really great deals with, if you buy more, you ended up paying less and you get free shipping, and they pretty much deliver it within 2 days of your ordering. And it's always fresh. They're always catching it literally within a few days. They freeze it, they send it to you. And it's always great when it arrives. And we get a whole freezer full. So we just got home from Italy, being away for almost a month. And we ended up getting a freezer full of tuna, halibut, salmon, scallops, and wild shrimp. Everything is wild. All of your fish, I don't care what it is, it should be wild. There is some sort of in salmon that you get that's farm raised. They claim there's this antioxidant that's in the salmon, and which makes it the color it is, and they're adding that color. And some of them are using the natural form of it, and other ones are using genetically modified. So you really have to be careful because you just don't know. So as a rule of thumb, I stay away from farm raised salmon. My dad and my cardiologist agree. So always wild salmon, but we order a whole bunch of it, and we order them in big steaks. So dinner.
Oh, you're freezing. Yep, you froze.
It's frozen. Oh, I froze.
Yeah, you
Oh,
froze because Carl's still moving.
it's not.
Yeah.
Carl's always moving. Carl, are you enjoying our banter? I missed my friend Kevin. I missed all of you guys. So I haven't been doing this. I'm kind of just making up for lost time. Chatter, 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 chatter.
That's great.
Back at you.
I'll follow up on that. The Great Alaskan Seafood. That's a great piece of information.
Yeah, and I think that they have good discounts and stuff. And if you refer a friend, maybe I don't even know. I've never literally referred anyone, so maybe they'll give us a discount, and then maybe they'll give you a discount if they mention that Kevin said it.
Yep,
Um,
I'll mention you.
but we keep it in the freezer, and we just take it out as we need it. So especially if I'm away, I take care of my dad a lot, and so he can just go into the freezer. He always has protein. He always has a healthy protein because his freezer is filled with tuna, wild salmon, wild halibut, wild scallops, wild shrimp, and he could just throw it on the barbecue and it's no big deal. And he could grab some asparagus or some spinach, and there's his dinner. It's so easy.
This is what we've got in the freezer.
Hi, Mike. Oh, wild
Hi.
pink. Yes, exactly. Wild pink salmon in the freezer. Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. And it might seem expensive, but if you think about it, don't look at a big salmon fillet that's like 8 to 10 ounces. Cut it up.
Yeah.
Use it for multiple meals. Make a salmon salad the next day. I add in some chopped jalapeno peppers. I add in some chopped celery, some chopped onion, and sometimes I chop up a little bit of pickle too. I know it sounds funny. And then I add a little bit of vinegar and oil. I get a Sicilian lemon infused vinegar and a little bit of olive oil, and I mix it up with salt, pepper, garlic, and you have a great topping for a salad. Or you can get a coconut turmeric wrap from Amazon and wrap it up in there, and it's just delicious.
I just say it's nice to have you back, Kim, and I hope you had a nice time.
Oh,
We really did. And what's funny is that we had a lot of fish there. I loved all the fresh fish that I'd never heard of in Italy. The one thing I thought was interesting is we went to this remote area called Cinque Terre, and it's 5 cities that are on the coast, and it's not as accessible by car. You don't see a bunch of cars in there. People are, riding their bicycles, they're walking, they're taking boats from city to city, and it's amazing. And they're known for their anchovies, and they have this huge history of anchovies. And we were learning how they catch anchovies, and the fishermen that we were talking to saying that they're like the 3rd and 4th generation doing it, which was incredible. And my dad was in hog heaven with anchovies on this and anchovies on that, and it was so much fun. We had really, really, really good food, good healthy food. I'm anaphylactic to dairy. You will not believe this. I'm anaphylactic to dairy here in the States. And I went over there and no EpiPen.
Mm.
No EpiPen. Can you believe that? I had tiramisu. I did it twice in
Wow.
16 days. Not too bad. And it was absolutely delicious.
The
So.
EU regulations on food and animal husbandry are really different than here. They're much more stringent and yeah, they just really care about the food supply. It's pretty great. I like being over there.
Oh, my favorite part, and I didn't know how my dad would react to it because I'm a little weird on my trips to Europe. One of my favorite things, and I think that Kevin would appreciate this, and I think Mike would as well. I don't know, have you, Carl or Marina? Marina's here. Hi, Marina. Have you guys been to Europe at all?
Yes.
You have? So you know about the supermercados. My whole fun on these trips is trying to visit every single, making sure to plan my trip around the mercados, the open markets, because I love going in there and you have the meat butcher over here that does the big steaks. Then you have the one over here that does the ground. And then you have the one over here that does the fish fillets. Then you have the one over here that does the shellfish. And then you have the one over here that has this a wonderful array of fresh greens, the spinach, the arugula, the artichokes galore there. I could not believe it because that's one of my favorite things being from California and Castro Valley are the artichokes.
Mm.
And so that was really fun. But the supermercado, we spent 3.5 hours in the one over in Florence, and it was
Mm.
incredible. And we got fresh stuff to take with us on the train. My dad was like, "Oh my God, how is it possible that I've never seen something like this before? Why is it that our farmers markets that we have here in the States are not as robust as these supermercados that you see in Europe? They're amazing. And so much organic produce. Couldn't believe it."
It's pretty simple. It's because the politics of the day support factory farming, mass food production, processed food, and
Yeah.
they get all the support, all the marketing, all the benefits of the laws and the rules,
Hi,
whereas
Sherry.
the regular little guy, they try and push him out. They really do.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's a great book by the guy who runs that farm, an organic farm. He's well known. What's his name? Anyway, he wrote a book which is called "Why Is Everything I Want to Do Illegal?" And he described all the rules that are in
A great
place
title.
that favor large farms.
Yeah.
There was actually a butcher here who I got talking to who used to butcher people's deer, the ones that got hit on the road or they hunted deer, because we have a lot of deer around here. And he started dressing them. And then the state inspection came in and they told him he had to build, a slaughterhouse and cleaning facility designed for a large operation.
Oh
Stainless
gosh,
steel,
no.
everything was to stop him doing his job. He did not need stainless steel anything. I mean, he was just, dressing deer that got hit by a car or something. And also, I ran a coffee shop for a year. I'd never do it to
What?
myself. I'd never do it to myself again. The
No
Yeah,
way.
and we had a lady who made tamales, and she made these really wonderful tamales, and she made them in her kitchen. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
Anyway, a reporter came in and tasted the tamales and thought they were great, and like an idiot, wrote about it in the newspaper. Within 3 days, the inspection people came in, checked her
Oh
house,
God.
closed her down.
No.
Yes,
No.
yes, that's
See,
exactly
they
what
did
happened.
that to a place, Petrix Produce, up in Dixon. This small little, I guess it's like a mini literally a small supermercado, and some local folks do come in, and they did the same thing to a mom and pop little tamale shop, and they had the best tamales, and we would go out of our way to go get them. And then they
Absolutely.
ended up getting inspected. They got shut down and they had to open up a grander facility. And their tamales just were never the same.
No, no, that's what happens. And
That's so sad.
this is what the fossil fuel industry is doing to alternative energy. I mean, a massive wind farm was closed down off of North Carolina coast, which, you know, got through all the inspections. It would have supplied, I don't know, like 18 million homes will be supplied. And what the Trump administration did was they bought out the French company that got the license and closed the whole thing down. They actually
no.
closed down this wind farm. And places like Scotland are getting most of the time almost all their energy from wind. And so there's a concerted effort to keep us back in the Stone Age, but there we are.
It's so frustrating. I mean, we're having actually we have refineries that are here in California that are shutting down. It's more because the regulations here in California just absolutely are too rigid. I just found out Apple is going to be moving its facility out of here. We had a couple others that just moved out because the California regulations are just a little bit out of, just not realistic for business,
Yeah, you
which
can
is terrible.
You can go too far in either direction. I worked for the chemical
Yeah.
and the pharmaceutical industries for about 35 years. And if you do a risk assessment that really works for a particular chemical, if everybody hates it, you've got it right. Because if you go too far on the side of safety, it closes down companies and people lose jobs. If it goes, you know, on the other side where it's so risky that people's lives are at risk, then you have the problem of disease in people caused by the chemical. And so if you create a risk assessment that everybody hates, you know you got it right.
Yep, probably true.
There's always a balancing act. I mean, you can't do anything without risk. I mean, there's
Nope.
no such thing as a risk averse, you know, product. I mean, it's just a fact of life.
There just isn't. But how is it that the folks with the supermercados, they don't use chlorine on all of their products, and yet here I just found out that on chicken breast and some of the other chicken that you buy in your supermarkets here, they use chlorine, and they don't have to report that they use chlorine to clean the products. And so, I mean, I could imagine that chlorine in certain small amounts is fine. I mean, I swim in a pool and no big deal. But when you're talking about all of your food, as you're eating lots of produce all day long, you're eating, you know, what you think is good, healthy protein, and it's washed in chlorine, that I would think would add up. And they do not use chlorine over in these supermercados with these places. It's all literally fresh. So how is it that they prevent people from getting sick there and we don't have large outbreaks of E. coli? But here in the States, it's supposedly so bad. These outbreaks are so bad. The risk is so high for E. coli that we have to go to the extent of using chlorine on all of our produce and our poultry.
Yeah, there's two sides to the story. There's one, this kind of thing where, you know, you want to make a dollar at any cost. And the other side of it is people aren't starving and we have plenty of food. And if you think back to 30 years ago, people were literally starving. And that resulted in the creation of the fast food industry, which is it's an interesting history, but it allowed people to eat. The problem is then the almighty dollar steps in and you get a big company, and big companies almost always lead to corruption. So it's a constant state of dynamic tension between the politics and the health of the society. So yeah, no, it's quite interesting. But over here, I'm pretty surprised. It's so different when I came here, the fast food industry. I'd never seen anything like. I mean, I came from Geneva, where we had the best foods of Europe, and there was no factory farming that I knew about. But over here, I mean, it's everywhere, but it's hidden. You go try find it, and they hide these places. So yeah, interesting problem. But
I know. And when you're trying to eat well, I mean, you need good fuel for your walking program. And if you're not getting good, healthy fuel and it's working against you because the products that you're fueling your body with are causing inflammation because your body does not recognize some of these chemicals that are used in our foods. That's not good. That's not good. So we always just say, make sure that with every product, you can get good products. Just make sure you take the time to look for them. Like with the olive oil, we make sure it's hand-picked, early harvest, cold pressed, extra virgin olive oil that's not just coming from your store shelf. If you have the option of going to a small mom and pop shop where they bottle it right there, or you can go to a farmer's market, that is the best place to go. I was just watching a doctor's Instagram video where he was talking about the high use of seed oils and canola oils and vegetable oils and how unhealthy they really are. And especially when they're on store shelves. So maybe some of them have meaning and are great right away in small quantities, but in this mass production, they're really not good. And especially in high quantities that you're consuming in every single product that you eat these days, they're not good. So making sure that you pay attention to the oils that are in your different foods, the emulsifiers that are in your foods, and try and just eat around the perimeter of the supermarket as much as you can to fuel your walking program.
Well, that
So
book is
there-
that book is by Joel Salatin.
Oh,
He's a-
yeah.
He's an impressive guy, actually.
Really?
Yeah, worth reading his stuff. Polyface Farm, I think it's called, and he's done a lot to improve the way the agriculture is run. And you were going to say something, Carl.
Yeah, well, there aren't any olive orchards up here by Canada.
Yay!
But I mean, olive oil has been a staple for forever. And a friend of mine, I never saw it, but a friend of mine pointed out to me that there are dates on oil jars. And so you can just pay. And sometimes a California brand, I think it's called California Farm or Harvest or something. They used to have the year on the label. So, you kind of knew where you stood to begin with. But that's all. Just there is dating on oils. It's sometimes pretty hard to find.
Except you shouldn't get the ones that are like a year out, because olive oil turns, and especially also in a light bottle, make sure that it's a dark bottle, but every 6 months they should be turning that oil.
Yeah.
But I'm glad you're getting one there. The one thing when I was in Italy at this one supermercado that I was shocked. It was an organic farm for olive oil. And they were proud of this video that they were showing where how they produce the oil. And the first thing that they were doing was showing how they shake the olive tree. It made for really good video. They shook the olive tree and all the olives were falling. Well, that is the worst thing you can do. You want hand-picked olives. You don't want them to shake the sugar tree or shake the olive tree, because it's damaging. It's causing bruising to the olives, which affects the amount of polyphenols or antioxidants in them by the time they get to you. So look for hand-picked, early harvest or first harvest, extra virgin olive oil.
I have a
If
question.
you can afford it.
If you can afford it,
Well,
totally.
it's the one thing. It's like our one non-negotiable, right?
I surf the sales, when the big waves are coming in, I kind of watch for the sales and I buy my stuff then. And it's sometimes it's a pretty huge discount, $6 or $7 on a bottle. So that's
But
how
try
I
not
do.
to get it in the supermarket. See if you can get it at a local thing. And less is more.
Yeah.
Right. A lot of the higher quality olive oil, we find we get a really big bottle for $21, but it lasts us for a couple months because it's a lot thicker and more rich. And so we use a lot less.
I have a question. I have an important question.
Yes.
Marina, how is your surgery? Is it still lasting?
Oh, I've had a hell of a week. Excuse my language.
You just got out of the hospital, didn't you?
Yeah, I came
Like
to
literally
this,
yesterday.
Yeah, I came to this call last Wednesday and I was feeling so good. I stopped taking my medicine. I offered it to anyone and I was walking a lot. And then last Wednesday night, I don't know what happened, but I had to go to the emergency room. And so anyways, they had to, the bypass is fine. I had developed a hematoma.
Yeah.
Hematoma.
Hematoma.
And I had surgery on Wednesday, and I've been in the hospital since. It's huge. It's almost my calf. I now have to carry this lovely device to suck up the blood because they don't close it. They let it close on its own. They just put a sponge with a pump.
Yeah.
It's brutal. It's been miserable. It's been absolutely miserable. But I'm home. I got home yesterday afternoon, so all good there.
Are you on
Pardon me?
Plavix?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the problem. I tried Plavix one time and it caused me a massive nosebleed. You can overdo anticoagulants. You have to, if you're taking fish oil and aspirin, you're probably getting as much platelet inhibition as you're ever going to get. You add Plavix to that.
Yeah.
You better,
No, the doctor found a hole in an artery, not an artery that they had worked on, but a hole in the artery. And he said, it could not have been there more than 24 to 48 hours at the most with the size it was. It was very big. That was the cause of this. And he had to stitch it up, the artery. And then the rest, it just, it's just a healing process, I guess.
That's so crazy that they say that they didn't touch it, but how is it possible an artery just develops a hole?
He said, Kim, when he spoke to me, he said that he'd never seen this before. In his 33 years, he's never seen this, this type of thing before. So, I don't know. Another, I was speaking to, they always come in. Another one said, well, it could have been something during the bypass, but who knows?
It's unlikely. And
Yeah.
you know what? They don't know sometimes what they
Right.
might touch, what it might affect or whatever. But the good news is that you did have, we always say that even if you do have the best of the best, anything can happen.
Yeah.
There are always, no one's perfect.
Yeah.
And, we're all human. Even robots aren't 100% perfect, because there are anomalies, in different patients. We know that with P.A.D. Doctors tell us all the time that every
Right.
patient just has some sort of uniqueness to their anatomy. There's no straightforward case. They're all complex. And so I imagine in your case, it was much the same with as many procedures,
Yeah.
that you'd had. But it's you have a great doctor.
Yes.
He got
yes.
you back in, and it was nice that he did it himself.
Yeah. And
that he
it
went
was,
back and took ownership.
Yeah, it was the next day. I mean, I went in Wednesday night to the emergency, and I was scheduled for Thursday morning with him. So,
Wow.
it was, I didn't know I was going to have him. I was happy that he was doing the surgery. So now, and nothing in the bypass was affected. So the bypass was, it was just
Still
outside
flowing.
the bypass, so nothing was affected. But now it's just, geez, now I've gone back a month, but I'll get there. It's just, I can't walk anymore. I have to carry this stupid blood machine and just brutal. But, I have two
But
legs.
you're still doing the P.A.D. 100s, aren't you?
Absolutely. I have to, because, I'm not, I was really
He
happy
told you,
last
Kevin.
week because I was walking again and I started feeling claudication pain in my left leg, and I haven't walked, so I have to I'm so worried that my left leg will go bad. So, all the time I'm moving it, I'm stretching it, I'm trying to do whatever I can to keep that going forward while this other leg takes a back seat. So
Yeah, we see that a lot, that you fix the one leg and you think your good leg is really good, but the one leg that is your worst leg is kind of covering up for the other one. And then when you fix the good leg, the bad leg starts kind of rearing its ugly head. But the good news is that once you get walking, you could probably improve
yeah.
that other leg.
Yeah.
with those collateral vessels. So I'm
Yeah.
sure you're probably not ready to rush into another procedure anytime
No,
soon.
I will not do it again on my left leg unless, of course, I have to, but I'm going to, last Wednesday after we talked here, I got my treadmill back out, and
Oh.
I was, now it's put away again, but not for long. I'm hoping just, a couple weeks, and then I can be where I was last week,
Yeah, and one of the doctors did tell me, and I had mentioned it to you, that they would approve you and refer you to another 12-week set of a
Yeah.
set program, supervised exercise therapy, so you can get the guidance that you need to progress up to where
Yeah,
you
I'm
to your
gonna put
potential.
a pause on that because I know I'm only allowed 2 with my insurance, and that it's an hour drive there, an hour drive back,
Oh,
and
wow.
I know what I
That's a
have to
lot.
do. I just have to get on that
Yeah.
treadmill and walk, rest, so I can do that. I think what I'm gonna need more, because I have such a huge, my whole calf is just open, that I'm gonna need some help learning how to build those muscles back.
Yeah.
So that's
And
what I think I'm gonna, but for now, the walking part, I know what I have to do to increase my walking.
I think it's a good opportunity right now to turn to Kevin, and Kevin, would you mind talking about PAD and muscle waste and the techniques that you use to mitigate the risk of muscle waste and to get that tone back?
Well, it's a case of use it or lose it, but you have to do it wisely without causing injury. So if you had an injury, you have to do both passive and active recovery and then slowly build. Because if the muscle's weak, then you will get tightness in the muscle, which makes things like PAD worse. I think the trick is little and often, and listen to your body, and very, very gradually increase the load on the muscle. I mean, it's once again, it's endurance training. So, calves are fun. Every muscle is different. Every muscle in our body is different. They've got a different balance of fast and slow twitch fibers. They got more or less dense connective tissue. And if you try and get your forearms to loosen up, right? And it's like, I don't know, it's impossible. But if you work on, say, your psoas muscle, you can get it to let go. So you have to find out which muscles are causing the problem, and you have to both lengthen and strengthen them. And you also have to look at the counteractive muscles, because pretty well every muscle in your body has something that makes it go this way and something that makes it go that way. And in order for it to go that way, it has to relax the ones that cause it to go that way. So that's what active isolated stretching is based on. So I would look at active isolated stretching, which is very gentle on your muscles, extremely gentle, and then find out where the really seriously affected fibers are and try and get them to gently let go in such a way that you can then start doing training. Dottie, stop going crazy. There's too many dogs here. Anyway, that's
Never too many dogs.
yeah, the trick. Well, you can have too many dogs, actually. At certain moments in your life, you can have too many dogs. Anyway, so that's the trick. And calf muscles are tough, actually. And the other thing to remember is that they are intimately associated with the up and downstream muscles. So what's going on in your feet affects your calves, but also what's going on in your pelvis and your hips. So you've got to work on it as an integrated system, not just say, well, I got a problem with my calf muscle, so I'll work on my calf muscle. It doesn't work like that. I mean, if you want to get your calf muscles to relax, like the soleus and the gastrocnemius, you have to get your hamstrings to let go. I mean, if you let your hamstrings let go, it's amazing how that will then let your calves let go. So, I know that's a long kind of diatribe, but it's a matter of saying, okay, I've got a problem. My calf muscles are weak. I need to very, very gently get them to, to be activated and relax. And, Marina has to leave. And so make sure you consider their relationship to up and downstream muscles. So that's the trick. Also, if your calf muscles are tight, what's going on in your tibialis anterior, which tends to pull your foot up, has to pull it down. So that is it's basically detective work.
If you put it into an easy, sealed box, what in the power of threes, what are the three things that people can take away to make a difference to mitigate their risk of muscle waste when it comes to PAD?
Well, you have to exercise in such a way that you produce collaterals, because if the muscles don't get blood, they'll waste away. So that's number one. So somehow you have to get those collaterals growing. Number two, you have to optimize the way you move your leg, your lower limb, so as blood can flow more easily through the muscles. And then once you can maintain blood flow, the third thing is you have to exercise and lengthen those muscles. But muscles that aren't getting enough blood, I mean, they're not going to get strong. They can't. They're going to die. And so number one, collaterals. Number two, improve body movement to improve blood flow. Like this remote blood pumping station stuff I came up with, and maybe there's other things out there. And then once that's going on at the same time, you can start to exercise and lengthen those muscles. And remember, stretching isn't something you do to your body. It's a conversation you have with your body, and that makes a huge difference. Oh, and by the way, if you're working on one side of your body, you need to work on the contralateral side too. I mean, on the other side of your body too, to maintain balance. Because what will happen if you work on one muscle and it's weak, say in your calf, before you know it, you'll be throwing out your hips, and then you've got problems elsewhere, which can be completely unexpected. So one, get collaterals. Two, optimize blood flow. Three, work on strengthening and lengthening those muscles.
And Kevin Thomas Morgan here has all of these techniques visually on his YouTube channel, youtube.com/the@fit-old-dog. And you can also sign up for his newsletter at inspirationalselfhelpbooks.com. He has a really great PAD training manual. Kevin, we did have a question that came in this week, which I don't know if you saw in the group. I think I might have tagged you, but I can't remember, where someone was asking about the truth of walking as medicine. Is it about teaching your muscles to do less, to do more with less, or is it about getting more blood flow to your legs? And the answer we've heard from vascular surgeons is it's both. Can you explain?
Well, you need to tell your body you need whatever it is, which is improved blood flow. And it would appear that walking really works as long as you walk on a surface that causes some degree of mild impact stress. And that causes, so your body responds to need. It responds to load all the time. I mean, bones can completely remodel themselves in response to load. And so, yeah, I mean, basically, you have to think about your body as a responsive system, ask it what it wants, and it listens to you. You talk to your body, it actually listens, and find out what it wants and provide it with what it needs. I know this sounds kind of odd and hokey dokey, but it's actually a fact. And most people are so out of touch with their body, so unaware of what's really going on. And then they have stupid things in their ears, so they can't even hear anything. So when you're exercising, listen to your body. Listen to what's going on. And that will really help. I don't know if that answers the question, because but when it comes to growing collaterals, you have to send the message that you need new blood vessels. And it seems that for lower limb ischemia, walking with impact stress, which means a treadmill doesn't work very well, running in the water doesn't work at all, a bicycle doesn't work that well, if at all, whereas walking on a pavement, a sidewalk, or a road, it creates a certain amount of impact stress, which you need to minimize, but it needs to be there. It seems to be the motivator of your body to grow collaterals. And then you got to keep moving. And that's means that you've just got to keep exercising. And it's important to have whole body fitness, not just one piece of your body. It's all part of one big machine. So yeah, body awareness, listen to your body, listen to what it needs, and it takes a while to learn the language of the body. But if you're not listening, you'll never learn it.
And for great techniques, if you want to learn more about growing collaterals, you can go to youtube.com/the @fit old dog. Some great stuff there. I actually sent, when I was in Florence, Italy, last week, I was walking up, oh my gosh, Kevin, stairs upon stairs upon stairs, the Boboli Gardens, these beautiful gardens. Well, not so beautiful right now. They used to be beautiful. They're getting renovated and they will be beautiful again at some point. But if you want some really good walking and stair climbing, it is fantastic because my dad and I got in 20,000 steps in one day, literally walking the gardens and climbing 16 floors, the equivalent, which was crazy. My dad has chronic venous insufficiency. He was recently diagnosed with mild P.A.D. and he has sciatica and he has osteoarthritis in his knees. And we have had to persevere. He had 4 vein ablations, which didn't work. He's had injections in his back. But what really did the trick for him to help him a lot was he had genicular arterial embolization for his osteoarthritis in his knees. And so the more we were walking, at first it was hard. He had heavy legs. The more he was walking and things loosened up, the better. And when we got halfway up, up the flights of stairs to get to the top of the Bubbly Gardens, there was a woman that seemed to be struggling getting down the stairs. And I was watching her all the way down, and every couple steps she would stop and rest. And I went up to her and I said, so I'm guessing, and I hope this isn't too personal, but you might have PAD. And she kind of looked at me funny. She says, how do you know? I said, classic claudication activity. I said, I run the Global PAD Association. And her eyes lit up. She's like, oh my gosh, someone who actually understands. My husband doesn't even understand. And I looked at her husband and I said, oh yeah, try walking these stairs with a tourniquet wrapped around your legs. That's what your wife is experiencing. And she had recently had an angioplasty to do a little roto-rooting of those arteries. So she was trying to get them back, but still struggling. And I sent her to your website, Kevin. And I said, I want you every single morning. This is not medical advice. It's just an option for you to go to Kevin Thomas Morgan's YouTube channel. And before you get out of bed every morning, do the yoga toes, do the PAD 100s. Just grab those videos off of his YouTube channel and go ahead and just give it a shot. So she was really excited. She had not gotten any guidance from her doctor in recovery. And so giving her your website, it just offered her hope again. So thank you for all you do on your YouTube channel to try and help people with PAD when so many are left with a diagnosis and no guidance to build those collaterals naturally.
Yeah,
Yay, Carl's clapping.
I think the biggest problem with doctors and PAD when it comes to giving people advice is that most of these doctors, and probably almost all of these doctors, don't have PAD, so they don't understand what it's like. And we have it. I mean, and it really is difficult and it takes a lot of work, but it's I think it's hard for doctors to even understand what we're going through because they don't have it. If they were to shove a tourniquet around just above the knee and wear that for a while, they get some idea of what's going on. It's not quite the same, but it is like that. I mean, it's yeah. So I'm glad that I hope it helps. I mean, the goal here is to help people. No, get down, dog. I know you're a nice, very sweet dog. Anyway, yeah. Well, thanks for getting that woman to where she needs to go. There's one thing that was interesting. I gave away, I don't know, 10 or 15 copies of that training plan. I mean, I can't give everything away for free. I'm trying to cover my costs, you know, for hosting and advertising and stuff. And I never got any feedback at all, even though that was the deal. And
Yeah.
so I'm not surprised because people are people. But you know, so that didn't work. I got no feedback. I wonder if that training plan is a bit overwhelming.
Is it printed?
Yeah,
It is printed. It's great.
It's available as an ebook, a paperback, and audiobook. And so I've been thinking
I wonder,
about
Kevin,
that.
if you just posted, you know, when you have the audiobook, just post maybe a chapter, a few chapters, just one at a time. And maybe in the group, say, each week for the next 3 weeks, I'm going to post a new chapter in my book, the P.A.D. Training Manual. And I want to get your feedback. I want to know what your questions are. And just do one at a time. Just do 3. Just do 3 weeks, power of 3,
So wait a minute,
and
I would
post it on Mondays.
I'd post chapters of the audio book. What format would I present them? Maybe just with a picture of me and the sound,
Yeah.
or what? Well,
Yeah.
Josh would know. I mean, I can sit there and read it out from the book. The
Yeah,
format.
that would even be fun. And you know what we could do is, for the next 3 weeks, why don't we start our Wednesday walking seminar with a chapter in your book, and let's talk about it. Let's get the feedback here, and you can always use the feedback. I'm sure Carl and Mike and Marina and Sherry and Douglas would all offer some verbal feedback and some great questions that you can use, on your site for content as well.
Yeah, okay. I mean, I could, to actually re-record each chapter here with these dogs and without my recording facility, I think we could
Yeah.
just use the recording from the audio book itself
You
and
can.
play it. And while we're playing it, we can be on the screen listening and reacting to that recording. And I can pause it as we go along, or we can ask Josh to mastermind the presentation of the first 3 chapters. Whatever Josh recommends in terms of.
Yeah, how long does it take for
I
each
mean,
to go through a chapter?
Each chapter is very short.
Okay, so why don't we plan? And I'm sure Carl and Mike and I'd be interested because I've gone back through your book several times, but I feel like depending on where I am or what's going through my mind or what's happening in my life or my exercise regimen or who I'm talking to, I get something different each time. And so I would love to just, one chapter, we'll start with chapter 1. And chapter 1 in that book is all about overcoming the grief. So no matter what, that's going to be a great conversation. And I even think that what would be interesting is if you just read it to us in a casual way.
Sure, okay, I mean, I could get my phone and I could read you the chapter from here
Yeah.
now. And I mean, it's pretty short, each one. And then,
And
it's
find
just.
good stopping points in there that you can pose a question to us.
Yeah,
So it's
what
more
I
of an interactive experience.
Yeah, that would be good, especially as it's recorded, because it's not so much as I'm trying to sell the books. What I'm trying to do is reach people and get them to understand what to do, because if they
Yeah,
don't
exactly.
understand me, I'm wasting my damn time. And I don't want to waste my time or their time.
No.
This is too important for people's lives,
And I have some interesting news for you, Kevin, is we have another Kevin who is a vascular surgeon out of Alaska who has PAD. And he was in critical limb ischemia about a month and a half ago, I would say. And he went to Hawaii. He is part of a chain of office-based facilities. There's one in Hawaii, there are a couple in Alaska, and I think there's one over in the Northwest somewhere. Middle of nowhere, Carl. He too middle of nowhere for you to go. But he ended up getting that new retractable stent. So he learned he was not going to do any procedures. He was just sitting there suffering. He loved to hike. He loved being active, doing things. He even is a glass blower on the side. He sent me the most beautiful pictures of vases that he created in all kinds of colors with his talents. And he was like, gosh, I was in so much pain, I could barely even stand. I could barely even stand to treat my patients, but I would do it and I would suffer through. But there was nothing that I saw on the market that I thought was durable enough for me to warrant having a procedure, because I didn't want to get into the mode of the revolving door of procedures. And then Reflow Medical came out with their retractable stent for below the knee. He had all below the knee disease. And so he went to Hawaii to Dr. Amar El Sergani, and he had one leg done. He felt instant relief. So a few weeks later, he went back to Hawaii, got the other leg done, and he's doing great. I just talked to him yesterday, and he and Dr. El Sergani are going to be on our show on Saturdays. This upcoming Saturday, what is it, would that be May 2nd? I think it might be May 2nd. Yes, it's May 2nd on the Heart of Innovation. But I'm wondering if you're interested, Kevin, maybe I could get him to come on a Wednesday with us, and you could talk to him as well. And we can get your training program in front of him because he's really into it. He's now into hiking. He wants to improve. He wants to grow his collateral vessels. And I'm thinking that, either one, he could come on Wednesday, or if you want to join us on May 2nd as part of our after show, and I'll get you both together in a very casual way and get him excited about getting your book. And maybe I can even send him your book.
Yeah, the fact he has P.A.D. is great. Not that I wish it upon him.
No, but he understands. He's a vascular surgeon that truly understands. And he had, I think, his was, I don't know if it was a cholesterol problem or a triglyceride problem, but it'd be worth talking to him about.
Yeah, no.
But he said there was literally nothing they could do.
If you bring him on this show, to me, that's ideal because we're all here. We all know each other. We can ask questions, and yeah, that would suit me best. You know how I am for minimizing the amount of social interaction I have, and you're about to double it.
Yeah.
She's always trying to get me to double it and quadruple it.
We'll
We
call
love
you
you, Kevin.
too.
The thing is
I'm
about
his
the
pimp.
retractable stents, if they
I'm his
really
P.A.D. pimp.
if the retractable stents really work, it'll probably be 10 or 15 years before they reach the ordinary person
Right.
who needs to do something to help themselves now. So if he has the retractable stent in there, why is he concerned about growing collaterals if he doesn't need them?
Well, the retractable stent, so he does need them because anytime you have these procedures, they don't go, and we never suggest you go 0 to hero. The whole goal is to create just enough blood flow to create a channel in there to give you just enough blood flow to heal a wound or get you out of pain or give you at least some sort of relief so you can walk and grow collaterals, because it's not a matter of if these procedures are going to fail, it's just a matter of when. And so the goal is to get the blood flow going so that you can walk more and more effectively.
I think everybody could work on growing collaterals for their old
Everyone
age.
should.
Yeah, I
Oh,
mean,
yeah.
it just becomes part of life. I mean, you hear of these communities where people are healthy till they're 100, and exercise, good diet, healthy relationships, a balanced life. They're always at the back of that. So yeah, no, that's good. Yeah, invite him on. And if you can't make it here, I'll come to your Saturday thing, but not regularly.
No, I just thought it might be a good way to introduce in a very casual way and not to monopolize, as well his time if he's already available versus having him to keep coming back. But if
he's a vascular surgeon.
He's a vascular surgeon, yeah.
Oh man, I mean, he's worth his weight in gold when it comes to convincing people what to do, because they believe.
But it was interesting. I had him on, and everyone's been asking for a P.A.D. doctor with P.A.D. And I mean, I hear it all the time over and over. We had 3 people show up for his interview. I promoted it for 2 weeks. 3 people showed up to that interview.
Yeah,
I was incredibly disappointed that everyone wants something, but when push comes to shove and we have it ready for them, just like this walking group, everyone complains about walking. Everyone has questions about walking, but we have this every single week and people almost take it for granted. It's almost like there are some that just would rather sit and complain about it versus do something about it. And my favorite is, there are no resources available. There are no resources available. My doctor's not helping me. My doctor's not giving me information. What do I do? And we're like, here it is. Here's your silver platter. It's right here. We're here every week. Same bad channel, same bad place, same back time. Just come.
I think
crickets.
What helps me
Crickets.
with doing this work, which is frustrating if you let it frustrate you, is a quote from the Bhagavad Gita, which is that you are entitled to your labors, but you are not entitled to the rewards of your labors. They come along or they don't. So you do the labor for its own sake. So when I write my books and no one buys them, I just ignore that and write the next book or write the next
Good for you.
video, knowing that if I'm reaching one person, that's great,
Yeah,
And so then
fantastic.
I just watch how much money I've got to get by, because I have an
Yeah.
advertising budget of $300 a month, and so I have to use those $300 wisely. And so that actually helps, because if you relied on people caring or coming back or making an effort, you probably commit suicide. I mean,
Oh,
it's a
no.
waste of damn time. But if
Yeah.
you're out there helping them, and then you find you help one person, two people, I think what you're doing, Kim, will suddenly go viral. I get the feeling that it will. I mean, you're very successful right now, but you or some similar operation will get people to wake up, and the medical profession to wake up. And there's no need to amputate people's legs in 99% of cases. It's yeah. Anyway, excuse me going on philosophically. It's just sometimes I get frustrated. Like, I gave away those books on the P.A.D. thing, and I got no feedback at all. And I'm thinking, well, I could give away 100 books. I'd probably get feedback from one.
From
And
one, yeah.
yeah, and that will probably be the average. And so it's called marketing.
Yep. And I think that's what, I don't know, Carl, Mike, Douglas, Sherry, Marina, are you in to help give them feedback? And we can do this for the next 3 weeks? What do you
Yeah,
think?
sounds great. Sounds great.
Yeah. Okay. And Mike?
Yeah, definitely. Definitely 100%. Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
But it's not about me. It's not about me. It's about reaching people, which is difficult.
Yeah. It is.
So-
It's well, you have to not only, sometimes you just need to reach people where they are and then guide them where they want to be. And it's not always, Douglas always has to remind me on the hotline that, I try to meditate every morning, and I put a prayer out there, and I put the energy out there to say, please bring me those who are ready, because there's no point in people coming my way if they're not ready. And we still do get some that are just not ready for the help. And you can talk to your blue in the face and give them the resources that they need. But if they're not ready to receive, that they're still in this place where you talk about in that first chapter in your book, and that stage of grief and the woe is me, which is normal. And you're not weird for feeling that. You're not weird or a bad person for being in that space. It is a real thing. You get a diagnosis and you don't want to believe it's real. And then you end up with this grief that you experience, and you have to work through that. And we can help if you're willing, but you have to be even ready at that point to say, you know what? I want to feel better. I'm ready to feel better. I may not be ready to take all of the steps yet, but the first step is just being here, being willing to receive, and to be open, and to know that there are options available for you. There is help available for you. There are friends that are here that will become family if you just come and you attend. And even Marina, I absolutely love Marina. The fact she just got out of the hospital yesterday. She has her wound vac on, and she can't quite walk yet, but she's here.
Are you got that wound
She's
back
showing up.
because the hematoma is still leaking? Is it
Mine
blood?
is definitely. And now today, I mean, I just spoke to them. It's not red blood. It's a little yellow.
Oh, it's
liquid.
actually, okay, it's serous. It's not actually bleeding. It's it's serous fluid accumulating. I see.
Yeah, I don't think, I know the doctor said this will, capture any blood that's still there, but the artery has been fixed, so I shouldn't continuously be bleeding.
Because I was wondering about going off the Plavix for a week while it settled down, but that's okay. You have to ask him about that.
Yeah, I can ask him about that. I see them enough now.
Yeah, I
But
think,
you see,
you know,
I
they
know, huh?
overdose with these anticoagulants quite a bit. Well, the
It's
expression we have to deal with, Kim, is you can take a horse to water, but you can't make it drink. And so we bring as many horses to water as we can.
yeah. And I think that that's the great way to do it. And one thing for people in terms of blood thinners, we do have people that don't get enough, then we have people that get too much. And it does work both ways, but the one thing, especially for women, that we always suggest when it comes to Plavix is to get a Plavix sensitivity test, because vascular surgeon Dr. Anita Dua has done a small study and has found that Plavix doesn't work in a lot of women. And especially if you're on a particular statin, the Plavix rides the same school bus as the statin, and so if they have the same school bus that they're riding on, one is going to take a hit, and so the statin becomes the big bad bully and doesn't let the Plavix off the school bus to try and help you. So you do need to make sure, if you can, to check with your doctor, read her study. You can look it up on anticoagulation. Dr. Anahita is the way it's spelled, but she pronounces it as Anita Dua, and learn a little bit more so you can have a productive conversation with your doctor about that, which you should on any medication. But anyway, thanks so much, everyone, for joining us. Next week, we are going to check out Kevin's book. Again, I know we've done it before, but really excited about exploring a little bit more. We're going to start over the next few weeks. We're going to read a few chapters together and have a candid discussion. If you have a chance to go to Amazon, Peripheral Artery Disease Training Plan for P.A.D. Heroes, from Amputees to Athletes. You can also just look up his name, Kevin Thomas Morgan, and all of his books come up. And you can also just go to inspirationalselfhelpbooks.com, and he answers messages through there as well if you need help finding the book, because he also has it on audio, which is a great option for you. I know, Kevin, I think this is your exception to the rule, that if they're listening to your audiobook while they're on the treadmill, you'll give them a little bit of grace to have earphones in while they're walking,
Well,
at least temporarily.
I think that's really bad, because then you're neither concentrating on the book nor your body. Spoken like a true Asperger's person. Just think about it.
I love you, Kevin. I
No, but
love you, Kevin.
just think
Thanks,
about
everyone, for joining us. Make sure you join us next week if you do want to get on our email list to join our live studio audience.
One last question.
Sure.
Why should I read my book out? Shouldn't one member of the group read the book?
If we have volunteers of maybe Mike or Carl or Marina, maybe we could take turns reading portions of the book and posing
I can
questions.
send you the ebook you can read on your phone. Anyway,
Okay.
think about that. If there are no volunteers, I'll dig it out and read it.
I mean, I'm happy to read it as well. I've done a couple audiobooks.
You already talk too much.
Yep.
I'll do it.
I think Carl will do it.
I would do it. Yeah. I'll send you my email in case.
Okay.
Really? You really will? Yeah, and then I'll
Okay.
send
Oh, this will be
you that
good.
MP3 file.
No, that
Okay.
I can't. That's the MP3. That's an audio file, right?
No,
Yeah.
I will. You send
MP3
me.
is an audio.
You send me your email, and I will send you both the ebook for the
PDF.
yeah, I guess I can make a PDF, but you read ebooks, right? Like Kindle?
No.
Yeah, you can just read it on your phone. You don't have to have a special app.
Okay,
You can literally just read it on your phone.
haven't. Yeah. So I haven't been able to figure out how to open the MP3, but if you send me a PDF, I can read a PDF, I'm pretty sure.
No, I have to create the PDF, but can I just send you an EPUB file, which you read in Kindle app or whatever?
I think so.
Do you read ebooks?
Not very often.
It sounds to me like we have the most technically challenged person here doing the technical job. This seems like a really bad choice.
No, we'll get him going. He'll be fine.
I have vocal cords and lips, so
then we'll get you. So maybe next week.
I will send you, if you send me your email.
Okay.
Well, for heaven's sake, send me your phone number because I can't get a hold of you. And
Okay.
so if it doesn't arrive, I can't send you anything if I don't get your email. And your email is really weird, if I remember right. What's it called again?
Oh, I wouldn't give it here. We are live on YouTube. So unless you want some
Okay.
great spam mail,
Yeah,
we
you're
can go
right.
ahead
Yeah,
and you
yeah.
could
Okay,
write it
well,
in chat if you want, or I can give it to him as well. I can give you
I
his email, which is pretty easy. And then you can just email him and
Okay, if you
start the
you send me
conversation.
the email and I will send the ebook file, the EPUB, to Carl. And Carl
Okay.
if Carl can open it, then he can read it, the first chapter, which is short. The chapters are short. I don't
Yeah.
mean to offend. I don't mean to offend anybody, but I just told Kim that she talked too much, and Carl that he's technologically challenged. So,
now I feel like I'm being seen. It's okay.
oh, that's good.
And we will make sure. So next week, if you're doing the reading, we'll have the three of us on screen and you'll be able to be an active participant. So everyone gets to actually put a face to a voice with Carl. So we'll
Way to
get you on.
go.
So we'll make sure that you're
Yeah.
not just a floating head next week as well.
Yeah, because
But thanks.
you reading the book out loud would give me some ideas on, semantics and
Sure.
syntax and stuff like that, where you read it and you find it awkward to read.
Mhm.
Because we'll get a recording of this and then I can improve the narrative. So
Okay. Yeah, I follow.
Yeah.
sounds great to me. Okay, I just got out of one job.
Awesome. And, create some questions, Kevin. So we'll have some stopping points so that you can pose some questions based on, different parts of the reading. So we can engage everyone who's here and get their feedback and get some great examples of just bringing your words to life when it comes to grief. And I know that's something that Douglas talks about a lot in our evening group that we have. We have a hangout every Wednesday evening at 4 p.m. Pacific time, 7 p.m. Eastern time, 6 p.m. Central, 5 p.m. Mountain. Oh my goodness. And Alaska time. No, just kidding. And a Hawaii time, by the way. But it's a really important topic, and I think we can all weigh in. So hopefully everyone join us next week, and for the next 3 weeks, we'll join us every week anyway. But email us at info@padhelp.org and let us know that you want to join the live studio audience for our walking group every single Wednesday morning Pacific time, morning, throughout the US. But if you're in Europe, it is more of an evening entertainment opportunity. So make sure you do join us as well there. But thanks everyone for joining us. Before you leave, like the video, subscribe to our channel at The Way to My Heart, but also go to Kevin's channel at Fit Old Dog.
Thanks, Kim.